I'm about to head to Charlotte, North Carolina to to table at HeroesCon, and I was asked to do a commission for this character from Return of the Jedi, Nien. I had to actually look up a YouTube video to figure out how to even pronounce his name. And it's crazy. I was laying in bed last night thinking about what I was going to talk about while I work on this. I'm actually heading to Minnesota first. That's where I'm from, to do a little convention there, and then heading to Charlotte. But I was thinking about this character and how I relate to him. The first movie I ever remember seeing was Empire Strikes Back. I was born in 1977, so I was born the year that the original Star Wars came out. So I would have been 3 when Empire Strikes Back came out. So I do have memories of my brother, one of my brothers. I have 4 older brothers, much older brothers than me, taking me to see The Empire Strikes Back and what was it? Oh, Young Frankenstein, which actually are 2 of my favorite movies of all time. To when I was, I must have been 3 years old, at a drive-in. It's not vivid memory. I was 3, but it is a memory that I do have. And but then, I remember then when I was 5, Empire Strikes Back came out, and my other brother, my 3rd oldest brother, managed a movie theater in our town, and I could go and see movies anytime that I wanted to. In fact, I think that he sort of would have to watch me sometimes and would take me to the theater. And Return of the Jedi had come out. I was 5, and so I would sit in the theater and I would watch Return of the Jedi over and over and over again. And over and over and over. In fact, one time I tried to sneak out to watch another movie. It was Jaws 3D, and it scared the living shit out of me. So I went right back into Return of the Jedi. Don't know why Return of the Jedi didn't scare the shit out of me, because I can just, I can still feel the doors of Jabba's palace opening and feel, the sound of Jabba laughing. Speaking of Jabba's palace, so I was thinking about this last night, and Salacious Crumb, the rat monkey that sits on Jabba's throne, was something that my father really, really loved. In fact, he kind of stole my action figure so that he could have it on his desk at work, of Salacious Crumb. And so for his 89th birthday, must have been he was born in 28, so it was 2017. I bought him this clock from that someone who was going to Star Wars Celebration was able to pick up for me, and it was the Salacious Crumb clock. And after he passed away, I got it back, and I was transporting it back here, and it broke, and it hasn't worked since, and I've always been meaning to take it in and have it fixed. And I was thinking about this last night, and I got up, and all of a sudden I heard it ticking. And it started working again. It's not swinging, but it's been, years now. And all of a sudden, out of the blue, it just started working. I mean, obviously it's a coincidence. I don't believe in ghosts or afterlife or any of that stuff. But it's a pretty crazy coincidence at that. If one was going to try to convince me otherwise, that would be one of those moments. But yeah, all the creatures, the menagerie of villains that were in Jabba's palace were enough to stoke any kid's mind into wanting to be a creative person, especially if you got to see it again and again, and sort of, you know, relive it and build your thoughts based on it. But, you know, I knew Star Wars pretty well. I knew one thing is that especially at that age, that, you know, the Millennium Falcon is only flown by Han Solo and Chewbacca. But then Return of the Jedi comes along, and they got to do the pass. Nobody can fly the Millennium Falcon at this time, so they need Lando comes. Lando, the previous owner of the Millennium Falcon, flies the ship. He needs a co-pilot, and all of a sudden this guy shows up. What the heck is this guy? Nien. Was that what I called him? Is that what his name is? Something like that. It's really hard for me to pronounce. But again, like, that movie just had the coolest characters, practical effects. It really bums me out. I am one of those people who I'm not one of those people who's like, oh, the prequels are terrible. They are, but you know, that's not my Star Wars. Well, you know what? It's not your Star Wars. It's for the next generation. But I will say that redoing the Star Wars that, you know, I grew up with and loved, and saying you cannot ever see those songs or hear those songs from Jabba's palace or the celebration that the Ewoks make at the end is a real shame. It really is. Like, you don't have to take away that permanently. Give us the option to see it again. Anyway, those characters were really, really cool. And this guy really stuck out because all of a sudden this other guy is flying the Millennium Falcon. So, you know, those movies have a huge place in my heart for a variety of reasons. Enough talking for 1 second while I kind of try to figure out this, like, hat thing he has. I feel like his cheeks should be even bigger. Hat go down there like that. These skin folds are very, very weird, kind of like perfect for my style. As you may or may not know, I sort of find my happy place in drawing weird things, and part of that is like skin folds. For some reason they're just really uneasy sometimes to look at. I don't know why. I don't think that they are on actual people, but when I draw them, it adds something very weird. And weird is something I'm into, so. Just gonna kind of do a straightforward, you know, bust of this guy. Okay. The oil from my hands sometimes gets on the paper, and it doesn't, it spreads the ink out. This sometimes helps it. It sometimes helps me spreading things around on here, but you got to remember to put it on from the beginning. Sometimes I don't do that. This is Nien Vortex ink. It's my favorite. They also make one called Abyss. It's sort of thinner, and it's for pens and things like that. This is hard to travel with, so I try to order one and have it sent to wherever I'm going. In Charlotte, I probably won't be able to have it, but the Abyss comes like this, and it flies easier. This explodes. Trying to find a better way to get it going. I know I put these in my mouth, and I know it's gross, but that's how I get the tip working. Probably use a new napkin, but whatever. So in these folds over the hat, I'm kind of like giving pressure and letting loose to give it some inconsistency so it feels more like folds in fabric. This brush, I didn't take good care of it when I first got it, and it's starting to fray already. I just got it. I'm really bad about that. I gotta get better at it, but I've learned from looking at Mark Schultz's work of, you know, Xenozoic or Cadillacs and Dinosaurs fame, that the brush, when it frays, does do some cool things. It almost makes like a hatching effect that you can do. This ink just lays on so great, especially on vellum, a rougher paper. It kind of soaks in and just becomes kind of jet black. I saw Dan Panosian using this ink. I don't know if it was like a paid advertisement or what, but I thought, well, it's good enough for him. And I tried it, because I'm always trying new things. How else are you gonna know if something works for you if you don't give it a whirl? So I picked it up, and wow, I'm glad I did. I don't want to use any other ink besides this. And you'd think that I was getting paid to say that, but I'm not. It's Glob's honest truth. He's pretty straightforward facing us, so I wanted to sort of at least throw his eyes into something that's not symmetrical. Symmetry is pretty boring, and sometimes you don't realize until you start doing something that maybe you should have moved the position of the character, but that's art. Like I always say, it's a conversation between you and the piece. It speaks to you, you react to it. Also, planning this a little better would have helped, but I'm not unhappy with it. I think it's really turning out kind of cool. And this character kind of works for my sensibilities, I feel like. So, because from the nose, it goes down. Oh, it's splitting again. And then from the lips, oh, it's kind of got a bit of an Elvis thing going here. I'm going to straighten this one out. Make this lip a little bit more up. And these folds on his lips are like really gross. I like it. His face just feels like it's made out of alien sex organs. I don't know if that's just me. Maybe it tells you a bit about my own fucked up brain, but that's the way it feels to me, these weird flaps. That's kind of what we are, right? Weird flaps. Dude, where's the turtleneck? Alright, I gotta do some maneuvering here. I don't want to get ink all over. Oh boy. Hi. I'm gonna move us. Can we still see? Can we still see? Okay, good. Kind of bop around so that I don't drag my hand across anything wet. I do it all the time. I was doing one commission where something had to absolutely be stark white. I knew it. I was paying attention to it. I let down my guard for 1 second. I dragged my hand across the white and smudge. But can't cry about it. Just gotta keep moving. I mean, it's still fine. It's not the end of the world. No one else is gonna know but me and you now that I told you. Now we can come back here. See, I don't know if you can see it or not. This is what I mean with the oil from my hands, because I grab the bottom of this here. It should go on nice and flat and black, and it does if you don't get the oil from your hands on the paper. I'm not an exceptionally oily person. I did take a shower, but this is what happens. And it's fine, it's acceptable. to give someone a piece like this. Almost all pieces are like this. But man, I just wish that it wasn't that way. So if I get time, I'll usually go over it again, and that usually fixes it. That'll give it a velvety look, but I don't want it to be velvety. Let's flip. All right. Sort of following the direction that I went in, so it makes like sort of a zigzag white pattern. Doesn't have to be perfect. No such thing as that anyway. Just varying stages of being anal. I tend to not be at all. And I call it my style. I think that works. Let's give him some shadow under here. Okay, so I feel like what I want to do now is blacken the background. I'll do like, you know, light speed stars behind him. I'll do that with white out. Where's my big brush? There you are. A couple secret weapon brushes. This is one of them. Right now I'm just using it to fill, but it also does some cool parallel line tricks when it goes to dry brush. have gotten too much ink. Try to deposit as much as I can on the interior and then go to the outside. Because this is going to be the thing. Now I got this shit on this paper when I go to spin it now. Let's just be smart. See, when I go to spin it, it's going to get all over the back, which isn't a big deal, but also another thing that bugs me. Ink all over the back of shit. But, you know, it's the back. Who cares, right? Right, Chris? Stop worrying about that. If you've made it this far, I will say to you, please don't forget to join my Patreon so you can see videos like this early. And they will be happening more often. Also, to get the mini comics that I make, that I send physically as a gift to you. I call it a gift to you because I can't really sell them because they're Masters of the Universe bootlegs. Those are the ones that I'm doing right now. I will be doing different things in the future as well. All right. So, patreon.com/Chris Anderson Comics. My latest comic, The Voyeur, is done and is going to be going out to people. Check it out. This is what it looks like. A little flip through real quick. I have two other ones also. This one's based off of Mantenna, this guy. And I also have one based on Beastman and Mossman, and one based on Merman and Stinkor. They're just fun to do and give out as gifts to my Patreon members. All right, we'll come in and hit them with the nib now. The Nien. Is that what I said his name was? Nien. I think he's the most difficult one to pronounce. Once you know it, but I just don't know it. I never actually had, well, did I? I don't know now. I had a lot of action figures growing up. With 4 older brothers, they were all, you know, going to college by the time I was born. I will say that I was spoiled with toys. I basically had every He-Man, G.I. Joe toy, Star Wars toy that you could imagine. Oh no, my face is gonna disappear from you, poor, poor people. I ran out of space on my computer. All right, I'm gonna move on. Dab this so I don't smear it. sure I'm shaking your view at this point. I'm sorry. Or maybe not. No, that's right, I forgot. The above camera used to be connected to my board, and now I've attached it to a poster frame of Art Adams drawing Fantastic Four number 100. That one's quality. Something nice to be able to look at and go, God damn it. Art Adams, why you have to be so good? Making us all work that much harder. But it's a good thing, because we should all work that much harder. Okay, alright, okay. Alright. Now, using my the water that I clean my brush with, I'm gonna go in and just give it a little bit of an ink wash. The character himself is very pale, so I'm not going to hit him with much. Well, that's got to be dark too. I should have done it over there, but that's okay. I almost just flicked this brush. It would have went everywhere. What was that? Sometimes I just get in the zone and my body does what it's gonna do, I guess. Alright, so I should probably hit a little bit of his face with it. He's got like... He's got some shadow under here. And some shadow on those lips. Under here. Under here. There. Get under the eyes a bit. under this eye flap. Okay, okay, okay. This looks a little weird. Kind of do it to there too then. I think it looks good. All right, and now, there's our center. Feel like, let's see here. Star Wars, light, speed. Well, let's do this. It seems to be going the opposite way that I was thinking it would. Thicker on the outside. Let's make it more random. All the way to the edge. Oh no. Gotta do a couple bigger ones there. I smudged it. That looks cooler. Okay. All right. Let's sign it. There you have it, folks. Nien None. Right? Wait a minute. Here we go. Ladies and gentlemen. Nien Nunb. Yep, there we go.
Nien Nunb. 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 Nien Nunb.
I don't know what I'm doing. That's how you say it. I hope you enjoyed watching me draw this. Don't forget to like, follow, subscribe, comment on this video if you dig it. I will be doing more. You can always see more videos on my channel, and also joining my Patreon, getting comics delivered to your door, getting commissions after a year, all sorts of crap. So yeah, check all that stuff out. Follow me on the Instagram at Chris Anderson Comics, on Twitter, C Anderson, no. What is it? Chris A Comics. And I'll see you next time. Before you go, don't forget to join my Patreon for exclusive content and physical comics gifted right to your door, like my sketchbooks and my Masters of the Universe bootleg comics, Not Man Nor Beast But Moss, and Stench of the Sea. Right now, I'm serializing my new mini, The Voyeur. You can support the channel by buying my comics, original art on my website, books like Spectral, A Showcase of Fear, 6 spooky tales, each told in a different spot color and weaved by a sinister traveling puppeteer. Lost Angels is a YA sci-fi mystery. When a space city crash lands on Santa Monica and begins to assimilate with our culture, young Alex Martinez may be the only one who can solve the mysterious death that occurs at her integrated human and angelic alien high school. Don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe, leave a comment, and we'll see you next time.